Going. Okay, hi guys. All right, so we're gonna get started. And last week we had mentioned that we were gonna start off our calls just having like one or two people share a little bit of their product testimony, how the products have been helping them. And so tonight, Aunt Paula, well, that's what I call her, but Paula, she's gonna share a little bit. She's have made some really great posts recently about just her results and her husband's results and everything. So I asked her if she would jump on here and just share a little bit of what the products have done for her. And yeah, so take it away.
Okay, so I don't know all of you, but hi, I'm Paula. I am Allie's aunt by choice, not by blood. And I started Plexus, roughly, I think, February, the end of February, something like that. I had been watching all of you guys online, connected through Allie and through Kelly, and just watching and kind of viewing it all. And I didn't know that Emily had started. She didn't share that with me, Allie, so she's, that wasn't right. Anyway, as soon as M started getting results is when I started finding out about more of it. And I had been questioning it all, but when she jumped on, I was like, I can't be out here on the side of the pond if she's in the water. So I kind of jumped in. And I was anxious to do it because I had gotten a lot of bad news from my doctor. Okay, so I'm a little bit ahead of you guys. I'm in that, struggling with A1C, high blood pressure, cholesterol world that you get into when you get a little older. And I was facing all of that, and I was putting on weight like stupid. And bad choices, of course, but still, once it's on there, it's on there. And as soon as I started taking Plexus, the number one thing that everybody said is, you're just happier. What are you doing? They didn't say, oh, you look better, or, oh, you look thinner. They said, you're happier. What's going on? And I just kind of was like, that's interesting, because the only thing I changed was taking Triplex. I took all three of them. And I just made a decision from the get-go. Once I started, I was going to be really consistent with it. And Kelly kept calling me and saying, are you doing it? I'm like, yep, I got it. I'm doing it. This is when I'm doing it. And tweaked it here and there, that kind of thing. But really was consistent with it. And that's when you start to see everything kind of shrink down. And that was like the key for me. It was more for me about health than anything else, because I wasn't worried about getting in a bathing suit, although that's a perk. I wasn't worried about, any of that stuff. Now I'm starting to like reach into the back of my closet and pull out like old clothes that I used to wear years ago. And I'm so thrilled that I'm able to fit in them. And they're not even the best clothes. The best ones are all the way in the back. So I'm really looking forward to that. But then I went to the doctor and I found out that my A1C was back under control. My cholesterol, I cut it in half. In half. I mean, it was, I'm sad to tell you, it was 320. Yeah, 320, you might not know, is like a crazy dangerous amount for cholesterol to be at. So now I not only have to cut that in half, I have to be concerned for a little while that my veins are getting cleaned out from all that, because that's going to build up all kinds of gunk. So I'm sticking with my Triplex, and I know that that's going to make a difference as far as, clearing that all up. A1C down, blood pressure is great, but he's not willing to take me off blood pressure medicine yet because it's only been 2 months of this. He wants to see like more of a 6-month record, and then he'll consider that kind of thing. So I'm really happy with the results of that. The very next thing that I added to my whole system was the VitoBiome, which for me, it's my happy pill. I was taking it in the morning because my days are really, really stressful. But then I switched it to nighttime, and that just really, I get such a good night's sleep now taking it at night with the BioCleanse and the ProBio 5. So I'm really happy combining the three of them at nighttime. Can't say enough about that. And then I added in my Mega Factor because the multivitamin is very essential. Still to come, I'm hoping to add in, I forget what the other one is, the one that's for health, for your healthy heart. I don't remember.
Mega X.
The Mega X, that's what it is. Yeah, so I'm going to add that one in next, and hopefully it'll become, I want it to be rounded, fully rounded. Okay, and in the process of that, ladies, I did give it to my husband, and he also had super, super fabulous results. His doctor was like, what the heck are you doing? And he's like, well, my wife is making me take this pink drink. And he's like, well, it's working. Keep doing it. Because his blood results were the best the doctor had ever seen. And Joe's been seeing this doctor for like 20 years. So he's like, okay, whatever it is you're doing a good job. Keep doing it because you're only going to get better. And so that was like double win for me because now we're at least both on the right track, getting healthier. Where once you hit 50, you feel like it's totally, it's no longer an uphill climb. It's kind of like what you've got. And you're either going to be maintaining it or you're going to get worse. So I didn't want that to be the real thing for us. I wanted to be better. I don't want to hit 60 and be struggling with health issues that my body's tired and worn out and not able to recover from. So that's kind of like my little story in a nutshell. That's how I started with the different supplements. And I've been really, really thrilled with them between the energy and the positive attitude that's happened with them. And the fact that people can see that, I figure that's a good thing. I want to be contagious by being happy. So why not, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll just read Megan put in the chat here. I can't believe your cholesterol was cut in half with just the triplex and not even Mega X. That's phenomenal. Love your results, she said.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And that's why, we had started because we saw the research with gut health and how it was connected to like heart disease and cholesterol and blood, like all of that. So even just dealing with that alone with the triplex. So that's awesome. You're going to have even better results when Mega X is awesome. So that's great. Okay. Alexis is going to introduce our next person. Thank you so much, Aunt Paula, for sharing.
That's amazing, Paula. And I can't wait I'm like mentally taking notes so I can tell my dad everything because he's going to start the triplex this week. I just ordered it for him. So tonight we're talking about personal growth and our very own Brandy Burns. She's had amazing results with the products as well, but I just wanted her to share a little bit because we don't always know what personal growth actually means and what that meant for her and how that affected just everything in her life and eventually being able to grow her business and just grow as a person and be where she is today. So take it away, Bran.
Okay, so one, thank you guys for having me and letting me speak. So let's jump right in. So when I started, Alexis told me about this stuff after hearing my issues, and I came to her and she gave me all the information about the products and gave me samples that I think are still in that old purse of mine, to be honest. I wanted something to work and I doubted her product so much that I didn't even take the samples. And so then eventually months later, when I was at my breaking point, I said, all right, I'm trying. So I started it and, I said I couldn't really afford it. And she was telling me about the business side of it and 3 friends and you can get like products mostly covered, like sharing. And I wasn't there. And I wanted to share, but I really didn't know. I didn't see the products yet. I didn't see what they were going to do for me yet. So I couldn't see the picture that she saw. So I started taking them. My health started improving. My hemorrhoids are gone. There's a laundry list of things that were improving in my life. And I started, I said, well, I'll help you in your business. I'll do that shout out post for your business, not for me. That's just not for me. I still didn't see the picture. Even after the results were happening a little bit by little bit, I still just didn't see like I could do this, the business part. So, December comes and the Slim Down Challenge was announced. And I was like, well, I feel good and I would love to lose some weight. With all the hormone issues I definitely had plenty of weight to be lost. So I decided to jump in and do the challenge. I was sharing and people were contacting me and I was like, well, here's the link. And I was still kind of like, yeah, I'm not putting anyone in group chats. I'm not there still. I was still so, I don't even know what a good word was. I was a pain. I was a pain to Alexis. But so I said, okay, I'll jump in and do this. Well, with the results and what, I decided to make myself stand out against the competition because I'm very competitive. And I did these videos and I just wanted to set myself as, apart from everyone. And it was another way to hold myself accountable. So through doing them, I just enjoyed like hearing people say that they liked them and it inspired them. That was cool. But it wasn't until that last one when so many people, almost 80,000 people, and I have random people messaging me, that I, something in my mind flipped over. I saw that it wasn't really, sharing wasn't going to hurt me. Obviously I'm sharing my results and it's changing people's lives and it's inspiring them. But I was now a product of the product. And I could now tell people, these are my results. And this is what can happen, not only from a health perspective and what had happened there, but now I had lost weight. And now it was and I'm a person like this too. I need to see it to believe it. So if you can't see people's health changing on the inside, and you can't see what's happening on the inside of gut health, sometimes they just still don't believe you. But now you can physically see the change that has happened to me. And I feel like it has spoken volumes to people that they're willing to listen to me a little bit more. So becoming a product of the product and taking my journey, starting out with, I had to not do the business at first. I needed to focus on me. And now that I focused on me, I have shifted my mind to, now I want to share with people. Can this become a business to help my family? Yes. And I can see that now because sharing these products is so easy when you have good results and when you can honestly say, like, I believe in this. Because it's not about saying, here, try this product. It's going to be great. You're going to have fun. Just showing results and being able to have confidence in them and be intimate when you talk to someone one-on-one. Like, I'm not just sending you a script. I'm telling you my story, and that's personal. It becomes so much more to people. So maybe right now you're not at a place, and maybe you're in the beginning of your journey and you're like, I just need to take the products. And I feel like it's okay if your journey starts there, because on the other side of this personal, you're working on you personally, there is an opportunity for business that is so beautiful. So there you have it.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandy. If any of you guys haven't, I think everyone on here has seen Brandy's video, but it has like 80,000 views right now, which is just crazy. And just from her being willing to put herself out there, because that's what people want to see, right? They want to see you be real and authentic, and not that you air all your dirty laundry 24/7, but that you show people that things are a struggle and yet you can overcome. So I love Brandy's story with that. And so that just leads right in tonight. We're talking about personal growth. What even is it? And how is it connected to like your health, right? So people jump into this thinking, okay, I just want to get healthy. I just want to get these health products, and then realize that it's so much more than that. And like, well, why is that, right? How is this so just all encompassing for like our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health, our financial health? Like, it can just cover so many areas. I have always been somebody who believes in just looking at the person as a whole, right? I believe in like holistic health and nutrition. And this started for me like 7 years ago. I had gone back to school and taken a biology class and just realized, like, it was a human biology class. I'm like, this is amazing. Just like the human body and the brain and all these things that work together. And I started at that point dreaming about what it would mean to get into a field that had to do with fitness or nutrition or something, because it affects every part of us, right? I mean, you know that when you, Paula talks about in her testimony about just feeling happier and being noticeably happier. And that's what people notice, to say, you're just like happy, right? Like they could just see that glow and they're like, what's going on with you, right? Or even when we decide we're going to work out, I believe that fitness has like such just a huge parallel to like what's going on inside personally and for our lives, right? Like when we do things that are hard and make ourselves vulnerable and push through, it like strips down the layers and we really see like who we are inside. And so anyway, so I'm somebody who just loves that. I've been thinking about it for years. And, you know, when I started Plexus, I had been in a place of just being really overwhelmed, really just stressed out. I'd been working at a church for about 7 years, and you know, it was great and I love the people I work with, but it was hard. Not a lot of fruit necessarily seen. And I really was just running myself down. I was homeschooling 4 kids. And after I had my 4th kid, I just felt exhausted. I'm not going to share all my product testimony here because I've shared most of it with you guys before. But when I stepped into Plexus, the timing was right. And this is when Brandy talked about timing, like the timing had to be right. And literally my husband and I had researched gut health for a year and never just jumped into anything. But literally the month before Amber reached out to me, there was a stirring in my heart, right? There was just like something going on in my heart and my head where it was like, it was about to be the new year and it was like something has to change. And I started having this stirring in my heart about like just the things that I dreamt of, the things about, you know, the type of family that I wanted my family to be, the type of house I want us to have where we'd be able to invite people over and host people and just share our lives with other people. And so there was this little stirring in the midst of my being super overwhelmed and tired and everything else. So when Amber messaged me, I was ready. And I thought that it was just about us getting healthy, helping Tim get healthy. And I didn't realize how much more there was, because when you step in here, you have this amazing community of people who say, what are your goals? Are your goals just to get healthy? Are they to go after a dream that you forgot about for a long time? Is it to feel better? Is it to help other people? Is it to build a business, right? What is it? And whatever that goal is, we want to help you get there. But how do you get to any of those places? Stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something. One of my favorite quotes is, growth is painful. No, I forget it. Growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong, right? Like literally sitting in that place and just feeling so stuck. So I stepped into taking these products. I'm like, this is going to be good for me. Great. And then I started to have these amazing results. I felt like myself again. I wasn't in pain. I was losing this weight. And it wasn't about how I wanted to look. It was about feeling like myself again, right? Not being literally weighed down by the burdens that have manifested themselves as weight because I overate and I didn't exercise and whatever. And so when I said to Amber and Megan and other people, like, you know what, I feel so passionate about this, about helping people, that this is something that I feel like, 7 years before, when I had that stirring in my heart about health and fitness, like, I feel like this is the thing, or at least this is the start of it. And they're like, okay. But what did it require of me? It required me stepping out. So some of the very first things that I had to do was a little bit of soul searching to say, okay, am I going to step out and tell people about this? I know that this can help other people. So who am I going to tell and how am I going to do that? And I have always been a people pleaser by nature. I've been somebody who, I don't want to offend people. I don't want them to not like me. And I don't want them to think I don't like them. Well, that's super hard to share anything because someone's going to be offended by whatever you share, right? And so I had to start realizing that, my passion had to be bigger than what I was afraid of. And my belief had to be bigger than other people's potential doubt. So if I believe that this is something worthwhile, that this is something that can help people, I have to be willing to share it with them, even if they're going to say that they might say no. And this can apply to any area of your life, not just in like sharing these products specifically, right? So I started stepping out. I started doing things. I really had to go to the Lord and be like, okay, God, like, that I'm scared. I'm scared scared of people to view me in a certain way, or for my reputation to be ruined of what I do at my church and all these things, because people think I'm just selling something. And the people in this community continue to encourage me, just share, right? Just share what's on your heart, share in a real way, and continue to see how you can grow. So I started listening to all the calls. I read books. I just dove into like going all in. And every single time I did something that was uncomfortable, I saw fruit. It might not have been like that person said yes, but it was like something else would pop up over here where it was like, okay, right? You plant seeds, something grows. And it might not even be in that same area, but something comes up of it that's beneficial. So when I continued to see that over and over, but I was still held back a little bit. This year, things completely changed for me when I shifted my mindset. I prayed at the end of last year, okay, God, like, what's my word for the year going to be? I never have been somebody who picked a word of the year. And I decided, just through a lot of prayer and just thinking about what is it that I really want and what do I think is going to get me to the places that I want to go. And the word that God put in my heart was breakthrough. Right? Like, I wanted to see breakthrough in the things that were holding me back, in the fear I had of other people's opinions, breakthroughs in health, breakthroughs in finances, breakthroughs in all these things. And I wanted to see that for other people. And I've always been somebody who's had a lot of faith. Maybe you could tell that. But what I never doubted what God could do, but I also never recognized that when I believe that God is doing something, that requires some kind of action. Right? Faith requires action. If I believe that all these things can happen, well, that doesn't mean I'm just going to sit down and watch money fall from the sky. No, it means you believe it can happen. Get in there and do something about it, right? And the fruit will come. So I started doing the consistent things every day. I started doing the personal growth. And for me, what's number one personal growth? A lot of you, if you've talked to me about personal growth, you'll hear me say that. But like, this is number one for me. This little book is my number one tool for personal growth, is my Bible. Spending time with God and realizing, who is He? Who am I? That's my number one tool for personal growth. But then I listened to the podcasts. I read the books. I read the John Maxwell books. I listened to different people's podcasts. I read all of these books and just continued to challenge myself. And I continued to see breakthroughs start to happen. And then I really started going after other people. How can I make breakthroughs come in these people's lives, right? How can I help them to hit their goals? How can I empower other people through these products, through finding their health, through finding their happiness, through finding themselves again? And when I started being able to do that, first of all, I found so much joy in that, right? And I found so much I actually was able to begin to see breakthroughs in other people. And as far as like the business is concerned, I started seeing my goals being met when I was really focusing on helping other people. And something I realized was like, personal growth is not just like, hey, let me do some personal growth in order to get the goal that I want. But personal growth is saying, who's the person that I want to be? What is the type of life I want to have? And realizing I can start being that person now. If I want to be somebody who has big impact, for some reason we think, well, when I do this or when I accomplish these things, then I'll have a big impact. When I get to diamond, if it's in this company, or when I become this level at whatever job you have, or when I become this, or when I have kids, or when I get married, all of a sudden I can be this super influential person. And what I realize is it's like, what is magically going to happen at that moment that you get that's going to make you an influential person? Well, nothing. What is happening is saying, I'm deciding I'm going to be that person today. So maybe my audience is one person. Maybe it's two people. Maybe it's just my kids, or maybe it's the few friends I have in my circle, or who are following me on Facebook. And as I start to pour out into those people and try to make an impact in their lives a little bit, my capacity starts to grow, right? And my capacity to impact people starts to grow. And so when I get up here, it has just naturally grown with me. It's not like some magic thing that's going to happen when I get a raise, when I get a job, whatever, but it's about personal growth and being the person that we were made to be. Like, that is the goal. And all of those other things are really just like a representation of the fact that you did it, right? That you went for the personal growth. You stepped out of your comfort zone. You faced your fears. You cared about other people over yourself, whatever it is. And and then and that those things then are representations. So how well you do in your business, how well you do, with your family or whatever you're planning on doing is like a representation of the growth that you've had. So that was really transforming for me. I did a lot of personal growth when I was in like high school and college, and I went to all the Bible studies and I was learning and going to school and doing all the classes. And I grew so much that then over the next like 7 to 10 years, it was like I basically just felt like, well, I know all of these things and I've I had arrived at some certain spot. And it's like, no, there's always more that we can do. There's always more we can grow. And there's always a new season of what's happened in our lives and who we can impact, So anyway, so that's a little bit of my personal growth journey. What can you do if you want to grow? Well, first of all, taking this step to put your health first is a really, really great place to start. So many of us, especially those of us who are moms or, just people who if we're taking care of anyone else, we feel like we have to put ourselves last in order to show that we care about people. And that's not true. So we've heard a lot of times now, but you get on a plane and they tell you when the oxygen mask falls, who do they tell you to put it on first? Yourself, so that you can help other people. And so many times we walk around just striving and running ourselves into the ground because we're trying to just help the people around us. And literally we're killing ourselves in the midst of it. And we're also probably not helping them as well as we could. Right. And so when I was giving up everything to just homeschool my kids and work at my job and whatever, I really wasn't giving them my best. And I really wasn't setting a great example for my kids, for my daughters of like, when you grow up, now you're going to just be like, yes, just run yourself into the ground for other people. No, be an example of somebody who goes after the hard things. So now I'm working towards becoming a group fitness instructor. And sure, sometimes I have to set aside time with my kids, but they're seeing me go after these hard things and seeing me grow and seeing me be a person who's filled up and then pouring that out on them rather than just like giving them everything and then sometimes resenting them for it, right? Doesn't that happen sometimes? Alexis, do you want to say something?
Yeah, just that vase analogy. Like imagine, I love this analogy and it reminds me when you said like the pouring out. So imagine that you are a glass vase and you have this constant stream being poured into. It's your faith, it's all things good, it's the personal growth, whatever. And as women, especially as mothers, we constantly feel like we need to pour that out. Like Ali was saying, like, okay, I'm going to pour a little to my kids and I'm going to pour a little to my mom and pour a little to my husband and people at my church or whatever. And if you're a vase and you keep tipping over, what's going to happen? You're going to eventually break. Whereas if you were to just stand tall and receive all of the goodness, all of the good things, you're going to eventually just overflow and it will spill out to everyone around you and everyone in your life.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. I love that. And I love that doing it out of the overflow, right? So giving people out of the overflow of your heart, out of the things that are being filled up. So getting started on your health journey is an amazing place. What I love about Plexus is that we're not just giving you these great products to help with your health, but you have a community of people. You have whoever you signed up with who actually wants to help you see your goals, health or otherwise, right? You have people coming around you and encouraging you and saying, you can do this. I know that it's hard to take your products every day or to drink your water or to try to, if you want to try to eat better or you want to try to exercise, but like, I'm here to encourage you and to push you forward and to help you, do what you want to do. And then so many times, it bleeds into so many other areas of our lives. Right now we've become friends with each other and we can actually share our lives together. We can encourage each other and we start to see that we have like a bigger impact, whether it's on social media or in our own families or with our friends. And then there's a really great opportunity within Plexus to then even like grow a business out of it. And that's not what everybody decides to do. But I mean, I've looked at other companies before. My husband, he always believed in me and he always said, you could totally do this. You're a people person and you did yada, yada, yada. And I was like, it doesn't feel right to me. But when I found Plexus and these products that I could believe in 100%, because these products help people. We heard Brandy's story, and her testimony had, like she said, it has so many layers of how it helped her and other people in her family with their health. We heard Aunt Paula's testimony for her and her husband, the things that it started to change. And every person on this call has something already that they're feeling a difference, whether they've just started or they've been going for a long time. And I just got distracted with a ding. It's okay. Anyway, and so what was I just saying? You know, whatever. You guys, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so I'll move on. Okay, so getting started with the health, the community, the business that this provides, the opportunity. Oh, that's what I was saying, that you can actually help people because these products are actually helping people, right? And so it's something I could believe in, that even if somebody says no to the products, first of all, they're not saying no to me. They're not saying I don't like you. I don't have to take it personally. They're just saying no, it's not for them right now. But it's like, I don't even feel bad about telling them or following up with them later because I know this can help them. And I really just feel bad for them because it's not their time. And I know this can help them when it's their time. Also, we just have so many resources here, whether you guys are interested in doing a business with this or not. These calls that we do, our greater team does with Megan and with Alita, these people, these women are so inspirational. Their stories are incredible. And whether you want to take it to do a business with this or just for your own inspiration to hear somebody else and be like, wow, me too. I'm not the only person struggling. I'm not the only person who has a hard time with their kids or with their family or just who feels exhausted all the time. You know, I thought I was alone in so much of my journey. It's like, no, we all are feeling that way. And like, if we can come together and support each other, we can continue to grow so much more. So the calls, and then I have tons of like book recommendations. I know Alexis does too. So if you feel like, you know what, I do want to work on my personal growth, can you recommend something to me and tell me what your kind of thing you're looking for? And we can recommend a book, a podcast, whatever that you can just listen to and that can help you just continue to grow, continue to learn more about yourself so that you can be the person that you were made to be. Because that is our goal here. That's my goal, to help every single person who comes through our chat, who comes through my back office on my website that I see, you know, I want to help that person get a little bit closer to who they were made to be and seeing all that they're capable of whatever that means in their life. So, so thank you guys for listening. I hope that some of you guys could resonate a little bit and just be inspired to go after, you know, your own personal growth and your own journey. And even just to think about, you know, what are my goals? What are the things that I want to accomplish in the next month or 3 months or year or a couple of years? And think about, am I doing something now that's going to feed into those greater goals? Because if you're not, how are those goals going to happen? And we're people who are here cheerleading for you to help you get to those goals. So if you feel like I don't have anybody in my corner to talk to about my goals and figure out how do I even start that, like, here we are. So we're here for you. And that's what else this helped me to do. It just helped me to step out and ask other people for help, where I spent years never asking anybody for help. So that really is part of the first step. So, all right, our time is way past due. So I'm sorry, you guys. And I hope everyone has a really great night. And I will look forward to talking to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.